Welcome into another episode of Farming Simulator 25 with me, the midlife Simster. Thanks for joining me again at Hutan Pantai. So here we are now, still in November, just finishing up the jobs. I've fertilised this field, which is our barley field. Figured once you've seen one field be fertilised, you've seen them all, and you don't need to see me doing my little weird thing of just fertilising downhill, certainly in this field at least. I'm going to take this over then to the grass field and get that fertilised as well. I'm ready for that first cut. And then finally, I think most of the jobs for November will be pretty much getting done and dusted. We've got to finish up the water buffalo grass field so we can at least mow that. If we can get all that done now before the end of November, then happy days. I just realised actually we are on the wrong time frame, so we need to increase that a little bit. So ×2 at a bare minimum. Right, let's just check we've got enough of that field fertilised. Happy days. Right, off to the grass field. Basically filmed these back to back. Essentially finished filming the last one a couple of hours ago. Did all the editing, and I'm slowly uploading that. Talked in the last episode about the changes I've made to the recording process. Couldn't send it across in 8K because it would have taken, I don't know, a day. It was bizarre. The delay, the amount of time it took just to do 10% was like several hours. So I cancelled that, went back to the 4K upload. But it is at least 60 frames, 6 frames per second. Are you overtaking me or not, mate? Clearly not. You're getting on my nerves now. And it's gone across in 60 frames per second recording for the upload. So be interesting to see if you guys see any difference in that from the previous videos, if you are returning. On that note as well, a massive thank you to those of you that have subscribed and liked, and even those who, if I doubt they're watching this now, but if you've disliked, yeah, cool, thank you. At least it's something. I just wish people would say when they dislike a video why they've disliked it, because you know, it could be something I could change and make better. So it's a shame that you don't get that sort of feedback in these situations, but I guess that's the joys of being a content creator, isn't it? But yes, honestly, thank you so much. If you are if you have subscribed and you are coming back to check things out, I'm extremely grateful. It's obviously a very new channel, and this is, I just do this for the fun of it. I don't think we're ever going to get monetized or anything like that. It'd be great if we do, obviously. Never turn my nose up at that, and you know, if you can then go that way, then excellent, isn't it? And I'd certainly, the more people then that get involved and engage, the more I can do on the channel to say, look, you know, I'll do whatever people want me to do. You know, if people want to see certain types of you know, let's play or tips and tricks or whatever it might be. So any feedback, always welcome. So please just engage if there's anything you want to say about the video, positive or negative. Right, I will get this finished up, and then actually whilst we're here we can just jump out and have a quick look. Yeah, so we need to, as we talked about in the last episode, we got those little weird clumps there. We've just gone into the second stage. So as soon as I've got this fertilised, I'll go and grab the mower and we'll start getting to work on that field. And then finally we'll be into December. I'll have to have a little check to see what we got to do in December. I don't really think there's much, believe it or not, because I don't think there's any products to sell. So I might use December just as a quick kind of deadwood contract and maybe find a tree or two on our own land to cut down. But primarily that'll then be time to skip past that and head into January madness and let that absolute car wreck of an episode begin, because as amazing as the money's going to be, getting it arranged and getting all the pallets loaded up and everything is going to be a lot of work. So, right, I'll, what are you doing, guys? Unbelievably bad overtake. Dear, dear. I'll speak to you in a sec. I forgot it was the Macdon that we used to mow. I was looking for a mower, so obviously spotted the pallet of eggs. I know it was only a single pallet, but it's worth dropping off over there for the sake of £5,000. Price is as good as it's going to be right now, so got that done. Added that into the kitty, which is good. So we will start getting all of this lot sorted out now over here. Ah, that's interesting. Why can't you find the field? There we go. Come on. Right, happy days. I don't know if anyone watching this at the moment now would have seen. Am I gonna clip that? Gonna be a bit close, isn't it? Whoosh. Yeah, I don't know if any of you guys have seen one of the other series I've started doing now, which is the I Wish I'd Known. I bought this on the idea in my mind that it would give us a 25% yield bonus for grass. I thought that was the case. It absolutely isn't. It's only on certain crops. So it's not that I regret the purchase, but I don't know. I mean, it'll massively help things still with the other crops that we harvest, getting that extra 25%, especially on the things like the barley for the chickens, because they eat so much of it. It's such a shame that it doesn't do it for the grass, because the amount that we're going to need for the water buffalo, and then if we venture into sheep and goats, then we're gonna the demand is going to be high, especially with goats and the sheep. They can have grass, they can't have hay, I think, if I remember rightly. So that brings its own challenges as well, because the baler that I would most want to use for this sort of stuff is obviously one that's got the like we've got with the wrap on it. So yeah, it's far from ideal, because then you wouldn't want to be wrapping it, because we'd have to unwrap it quickly, and then yeah, it would just be an absolute nightmare. Because let's have a look here, because right now, where are we? I thought we bought a baler. I don't know why. In my mind, we'd bought one, but we didn't, did we? We leased it. That should probably actually be on my wish list, which amazingly it isn't. Which we talked about in the last episode, but yeah, so then we would need just a standard baler that's not going to wrap anything, but then going forward for the TMR, we'd need to be wrapping things. So then you ask yourself the question, well, is it worth getting a baler that can wrap? Should we just get a standard baler? And then should we also then look to get a just do a silage pit, so that we could then drop the, why is this not, why am I keep missing that line? Interesting. Yeah, should we just be dropping the grass off and then covering it as and when to make the silage? And that way then we could arguably just dip in and out. You could run two pits. You could have a grass pit and a silage pit. You know, there's a couple of different ways of going at it. So yeah, don't know, a bit of Bit of food for thought. What I'll do now is I'll run a second headland now top up here, even though it didn't offer it to us. It just makes it so much easier for the turning around with that fence, because we are very close to it. Still nothing new in the shops as such. That the forage header, that's quite tempting, because it does, again, it offers us up an option with the Macdon, and in theory we could go and then we could use that to collect our grass, launching it straight into just a standard trailer. You know, there's an argument for that, so then we're not having to buy the specialist trailer. Come on then. Especially when, I mean, it's only 32,000, 15 hours of work on it, and it kind of ticks the boxes for what I'm meant to be looking for in the sales, that one. I think once I finish mowing this, I'm going to give that proper little bit of thought before moving on to anything else, because that could be quite useful, because we could then just drag it behind, stick it on the tractor. So you keep missing these lines up. Yeah, chuck it on the tractor, front of the tractor, with standard trailer behind it. That would answer our problem for the sheep just needing grass then. So all we would need to do, really, I mean, Macdon is windrowing this anyway for us. That might be an answer rather than a forage wagon, because let's have a quick look, shall we? Just as a bit of a quick comparison. Where are they? No. Forage wagon. Absolute cheapest one there, which has got very little space in it, is £30,000. Everything else is astronomical. And that way then we could just get a normal baler. The other thing is, I haven't used that system before, so what I might do then is, we might buy that this episode. I might just give it a quick test. Come on, lines. Dear Lord. Right, switch on. Right, I'm going to get this mode. I'll be back with you in a sec. After much testing, deliberation and messing around, I've done it. We now own this fine machine. The reason I'm thinking behind it is that we can eventually get a silage pit when we get the big dairy, like milk producing pasture for these guys. If we put that over on the farm somewhere in the area of... It's a little dark, so it's hard to see. Basically, we know that our new pasture is going to go in this. It'll hold about up to 70 cows and water buffalo in it. So if we could put one there, so it's just easy access with our TMR sort of setup here, that could probably work quite well for us, I think. And if we could even do a double, we could potentially run a grass and a silage one, because then we could put our sheep in here and then our goats down here. That's the thinking. Only because the pits, ideally, I'd have liked to have put one over there, just running along this edge, but you can't with the angles. They don't go. They only like place at 90 degrees. That then allows us to leave this as a field for now, and then we can carry on doing what we need to do with these two grass fields until we have to plant the oats. The other reason, of course, is, and I don't know why I didn't really clock this before, but when you go into the animals, we can actually feed these guys grass. You can see I've already put 5,000 litres in just as a bit of a test. They're not milk producing now for a few more months, so we could just speed up a lot of time and effort. So I'm quite annoyed at myself that I didn't really think about this before. But all we need to do is just give them this stuff. And we're good. So unfold the pipe, turn her on. Start on this outside one. Doesn't look like she's lower, does she? I don't think it matters, but hey ho. And yeah, and all we need to do now is collect the whole field's worth. The other thing as well, which is quite good, is that we can tip from either side with this trailer. So, sorry mate. We don't need to worry about trying to reverse into the horrific drop-off point. We can just spin around, come down back on ourselves on the road because the rocks are blocking on the one side, and then we'll just drop it in from the right hand side. So I'll show you now very quickly. The one thing is we can't leave the water bowser there, but so if we come up here and then we do a U-turn, knock our controls onto the trailer. Hey guys, I have actually got to go in between the fence and the pole. Go dump the grass. There we are. Pole now, is it? Nice. There was I was reading up about this issue with pens apparently, that these custom pens, when you buy the pen, what you're buying is basically a pen that will hold X amount of animals. So in our case, we'll talk about this just very quickly. Only holds 7, I think. And someone was basically saying that, like, same for the big cow barn, it holds 50. The food, the size of the trough, how much you can put in there, doesn't change with the size of the paddock that you create. So if you create an absolutely enormous field that can hold several hundred cows, the food is actually quite a small, well, the holding for the food is very small, so you'll spend a lot of time having to replenish it and refill it. Obviously the amount that they eat doesn't change, but it's just simply the amount that you can store within the paddock. So I think that probably is what's coming into effect with ours there, that it's quite small, even though we got 60 water buffalo in there. I know we've put the hay bales in previously, so they're taking up a chunk of the space. But right, I'll get this finished, and then there's not really much else to do, and I think we'll head into December. Okay, so things have moved on a bit quicker than I'd have planned there. I didn't expect us to have 28,000 litres just off one half of that field. Considering we've got another grass field over there, I obviously, when they're bales, I kind of underestimated it. Maybe we should have just got a baler, and this would have been a much easier choice. But hey ho, it has allowed me to go and do something that I wanted to do for ages. So stuff it, why not? So we're going to take this lot up here. The whole animal milking pasture for the water buffalo is going to be more complicated than I want it to be. It's still going to happen. I'm just going to need to play around with it, and we need the money, so I can't put that in place now. Lordy, this tractor's struggling up here. I wish we had a better tractor, blimey. Because what I have to do is I'm going to have to put the cow pasture in first, then set the silage clamp next to it, I think, which will be the best way, because I can then drive in and drive through and drive out. So yeah, so that'll be the plan. Wow, good overtake, mate. So because of all that, and we could have gone with a different silo, but I think the silos are a bit cheaty. So we've done it. We've gotten rid of the rice paddy. I'm going to have to come at this the other way, aren't I? I'm going to have to come at this way. That's why I left this little corner here, to give myself a little turning circle. Hopefully we'll be able to do that. What do we need? We need it to be tip side right. Excellent. Hopefully we can just about squeeze in here. Yes. Now then, how much of this will these sheep take? Oh no. Oh no. Oh, what am I going to do now? We're going to have to make bales regardless. I'm going to have to dump all of this and just make bales. I'm going to have to make hay bales. I suck. 3,000 litres. Why? Why so little? But what am I going to do with your spare grass? Ah, man. You annoying animals. Well, that was unexpected, but I'm not going to restart. I'm not going to cheat it out. That's what we've done. That was always going to be the plan. They are going to start producing wool for us and so on. So we've spent a bit more money than I probably would have wanted to this month. But we had money in the bank, didn't we? So, and I still don't regret this purchase. If I could just put a stupid clamp over there, it'd be fine. But like, when you actually look, where are we? Give me any of the clamps. Even the one that comes with the game only turns on a 90-degree angle. I mean, it's just so stupid. And that's a mod. And that's a mod. It's like, you know, it would just be perfect right there. Just running along the same lines the field goes. But because of where my bale storage is, I can't put it, you know, in this spot. It's just ridiculous. And I can't, what I don't think I can do is place one of these before placing the pasture, because it kind of knocks it all out of sync. Ideally, I'd like it to be like that, but it just doesn't really work. Because it goes too far up the back. What I might do is, let me save it and try and fit that in there. I'll keep this on whilst we're doing this, so you can see the sort of why it's such an issue. I don't care how this traffic is going to go. So it's just no end of drama. Let's get out of the way here. I clearly do care. Right, let's come up here a minute. we need to unhook you a second so we can move the roller. Because the other thing as well is that I want the dairy here. So the reason I'm so keen to keep it all like in the same sort of area, so you have dairy, silage clamp, and then the pasture, is just for the transportation issue. So you're not kind of driving halfway around the map. In a perfect world, and with hindsight, actually the better thing to have done would have been to put the breeding pen that we did put down in the grass field actually up here, and then stick the big milking one down there, because it just gave us so much more space. But hey ho, live and learn. Right, so this is the smallest one, I think, when you look at it in terms of the actual clamp, because its edge is less there. Yeah, so we can't have that one because I just can't drive in and out the thing. It's awful. Should we run a test with it? Let's see if I can. Let's run a quick test. Ugh, that's made it all grey. I'll have to tidy that up a little bit. Right, come on then. Oops, my bad. If I can just get this thing in enough to dump the grass, and then we can just push it back with the leveler, then that wouldn't be too bad. And a shovel, then I'd accept that, because that's the one I want, without a shadow of a doubt. And if this was a rigid trailer, then it wouldn't be so bad. Maybe, see, we're just not going to have that turning angle. That's the problem, because the cow sheds and everything is going to be here, and then I can't get that to work. Oh, this is a nightmare. Someone please teach me how to use one of these. I mean, how would you do it? How on earth do you possibly do it? I mean, that's pretty close. But it's just not in there enough, is it? That's just gonna cause me such a drama. Of course, the other alternative, but it means spending more money, and I don't need 2 trailers. That's the whole point of this, is that we could go for the CLAAS here, because that's, it's only 20,000, holds 22.5. That's pretty good, It's still smaller than this one, but at least it's a rigid trailer, makes it a lot easier. Oh, I just don't know. I don't know. One thing I do know is, though, that isn't the answer. So I'm going to jump out of the game. I'm going to restart it from the save point just then. I'm going to have a little play around with some things, and I'll come back to you shortly. Right. After an unbelievable amount of messing around, testing, thinking about it, it's almost 24 hours later in real world time, and I still can't decide on the best way to resolve this. I think, no, I say that. I have decided on the best way to resolve this. I have to show you this in the dark because the game crashed. I did all this to show you what the long-term fix is, and then I wanted to bring you back in the daytime, and the game crashed. And it's the first game crash I've had in ages. So I'd seen somewhere online on one of the comments about, maybe it was Mr. Sealy P's feed or one of his videos recently thinking about it, that if you place too many placeables in the same area, that causes the crash, because it was causing him the same issue on his PlayStation for his mod reviews. So that was causing drama. Side note, I hate how the colours get really washed out depending on the time of day in the game. I play this on a TV, which is then next to my monitor. My TV is quite a nice clear colour, like nice dark colours. The recording looks so washed out, it's horrible. But there you go. Right, let me show you what the long-term fix is. Side note, to do this, and the reason why we're not going to do it, would mean taking out a £250,000 loan right now. Now, admittedly, when we go and sell our wood chips and we go and sell all our produce and we go and sell the wood over the next couple of months, we're going to make a lot of money, and I was going to be quite comfortable probably in January, February time, taking a £100,000 loan to put the cow shed in. But I'm not comfortable taking a £250,000 loan and hoping that we get enough to get back to it. So it's not going to happen. What the fix is actually going to be, I'm going to go and take all the grass, I'm going to dump it back in the field, and I'm going to hire a baler, and I'm going to, I don't know, I'll do it all off camera, but one way or another, I'm either going to create silage bales or I'm going to create hay bales. One of the two. However, the longer term fix, and I'll show you this in the dark, and then I'll try and jump it tomorrow without saving it, and then we'll see if it crashes, and if not, I'll just give you a quick run by in the daylight. Here is the big milking barn. So this then would be able to hold all the cows that we need, because it can hold 75. The size of it, it basically comes out over our soybean field that we had, comes back and around, comes back around the back of the little plants there, comes up the side here, comes back across. Obviously I haven't tidied any of this up, and it's quite hard to see, I appreciate, in the dark. Directly opposite it is the small clamp, which will mean that we'll have to buy a rigid trailer, and I'm fine with that. I'll just get the CLAAS one, and we'll just use that for the purpose of collecting the grass, for the purpose of making silage. And then next to it is the manure, which needs to be placed nearby, and obviously again I will tidy this up in terms of the flooring and the textures and all that sort of stuff, so it's not on the old style. And then that's our collection point there. That will then mean we will get a fertilizer that we can use going forward from the cows in there when we're chucking the straw in with them. So that's the long term fix, right? Yeah, I mean, I'd love to just keep it now, to be honest with you, but I just can't justify it. It's just not, it just feels like cheating, and I don't like that. So I'm not. And even if it just means in a couple of months' time, in a couple of episodes, I'm just going to be rebuilding it, but at least I've done it a bit more fairly. The one thing I was thinking of was, in terms of this beast, it did dawn on me all of a sudden then as well. Obviously, it should pick up when we go and use the MacDon on our fields. We should be able to use this thing once the MacDon header is picked up. Oh no, I'm not going to be able to get rid of the harvester, am I? Because the harvester is going to still have to pick up. I don't know. I'm going to have to do a test on that off screen, but I don't think it's going to work. I think it'll do one or the other. I don't know what it would do when you've got both there, because which ones are going to pick up first. Interesting. I'll have a little go at that off camera. Right, I'm going to show you, and this may well crash. So we'll see. I mean, it doesn't matter, because we're not going to save this game anyway, but I just want to see if it'll crash again. The only difference this time is the last time I'd actually done all the textures, so I'd put the tarmac or the asphalt in. Yeah, it hasn't crashed this time. How bizarre. How bizarre. So just so you can see it a little bit better in the cold light of day. So there's the that would be the new cow pasture there. There's our we're keeping this. That's in. That's happening now. Hello sheep. The other 3,000 litres of grass. Jeez Louise. Yeah, so that's how it's gonna look. I don't know whether I'm gonna be able to fit the dairy in there. We may be able to. That may have to go over there somewhere. But that's how the farm will roughly look, hopefully in the not too distant future. As I said, I'm going to now take this enormous trailer of grass, dump it, and decide what to do with it, whether I just bale it for silage straight off the bat, hire, like, lease the machinery to do that, or I dump it, ted it, row it, and then bale it again. Undecided. But either way, I'll do it all off camera and sort that out, because this episode has gone on long enough and it's been painful and there's been massive mistakes. However, what we don't do is, we live by the mistake, don't we? We don't change it. I'm not going to try and cheat my way out of things. And on that basis, if you have enjoyed the episode and you found anything particularly useful and informative, then please do consider giving it a like and subscribe so I can see if it's working for you. If you've got any thoughts, comments, anything like that, please leave them in the comment section. I will respond to you. I'll be intrigued to see what you guys are thinking about it, any issues that you found that are similar that we're having here. And until next time, be happy, stay safe, and we will speak again soon. Take care.